I have some of the smartest clients out there, and I can't wait to tell you about them. This is Monday Mornings with Mark. Hi, I'm your host, Mark J. Schmidt of Remax Country and MoveMeMark.com. If you're new here, please make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube and make sure you like us on Facebook so you don't miss out. Now, today, I've got to tell you about these super smart clients of mine. About 10 years ago, I sold this couple a house, and it was a great house. It was a small ranch in the Dayton section of South Brunswick. And anyway, recently, the wife reached out to me, and she said, we're thinking about doing some additions to our home. Would you mind coming out and talking to us about them? And I said, absolutely. So I went out, met with them, and, they basically just went over what they were planning on doing. They wanted to build a room off of the dining room, and they were going to extend the deck. And the best part was this. The best part is that this all started because they were going to renovate like a bathroom. And then they're like, well, if we're doing that, we might as well do this over here. And then one thing led to another. All of a sudden, they're building an addition on their home. And their main concern was, were they going to get their money back? And I explained to them, first off, you get the biggest bang for your buck when renovating your home on two things, kitchens and bathrooms, okay? Those are the areas of the home that really you're gonna see the most return on your money. Now, these people were smart because they called me out and they said, listen, if we put this addition on, is that gonna be a good thing? Is this going to increase the value of our home? And that's a question that not everyone asks, and they really should. See, putting an addition on is great, but I'm going to tell you what I told them. There's really three questions you need to ask yourself when you're considering doing an addition on your home. The first is, how marketable is that addition? Okay? Their plan, at first, they wanted to just put in, they were going to put the deck, and then they were going to screen the deck in. And they thought, that's good, but then why don't we make it into a 3-season room? And then they thought, well, why don't we just make it into a 4-season room? It will be just a regular room. We'll just have a room that will add square footage to our house. That is totally marketable. Now, on the flip side of that, what might not be marketable? I went to a house years ago where there was an open house at this home, and as soon as you walked inside, you could smell chlorine. And I thought that was pretty odd. Why are you smelling chlorine as soon as you walk into a house? Well, it turns out that what the people did was they obviously loved swimming because they put an in-ground pool in their backyard, and then they built more house over that in-ground pool. So they had an indoor in-ground pool. That's fantastic. It's great if that's what you want. However, is it marketable? How many people are out there specifically looking for an indoor pool? There's not that many. So that's the first question you want to ask yourself is it marketable? Now, what my clients were doing, that was totally marketable. It was going to add square footage to their home. They showed me their plans. They looked absolutely lovely. And these people have good taste anyway. So I had no problem and no fears, no doubts about what they had in mind. It was totally marketable. The second thing is, would a buyer be interested in it? You can do an addition to your home, you can do renovations to your home, but if they're of such a particular taste that no one else is going to be interested in it, or you're going to have a very limited market for it, it's not going to be worth your time. I love telling the story of how years ago, I had a woman call me up to ask about selling her home. On the phone, she told me that they had just put this commercial-grade carpeting throughout the house, and she was like, it looks gorgeous, it's going to last forever. That sounded awesome. When I got to the house, it was leopard print carpeting throughout the entire house. It looked like Animal Planet had thrown up in there. Now, listen, for me, it wasn't my taste. For them, they loved it. But was there a huge market for people doing that? Would a buyer be interested in leopard print carpeting throughout the home? And the answer, as you probably realize, is probably not. So ask yourself, would a buyer be interested in these upgrades you're doing? But that leads to the third question. The third question is this: how long are you planning on staying in the home? Listen, if you're doing a renovation or an upgrade, sometimes you need to do a renovation to sell your home. You want to make sure you bring your home up to selling standard. Sometimes if you're doing something, and like this couple I met with, if you're doing it because you want to enjoy it, well, you have to think about how long you're going to be staying in the home and whether you're going to be able to recoup your money on that. Now, this couple said, listen, we're staying here forever. We are never moving. I said, that's great. Do whatever you want then. You know, the wife actually said, she goes, I'm dying in this home. And I said, well, then it doesn't really matter if your house goes up in value or not. It's not going to be your problem at that point. Someone else is going to be selling the house. So how long you stay in the home is another great thing you need to consider, because listen, if you're only going to be staying a short time, maybe you don't want to spend a boatload of money making renovations, because you might not be able to get that money back when you sell. Just because you add $5,000 worth of renovations to a home does not necessarily mean you're going to get $5,000 of value back when you sell. So you have to be very careful. Now listen, if you're thinking about doing renovations to your home, if you're thinking about doing renovations because you want to sell, what you need to do is you need to head to my website. You can find me at www.MoveMeMark.com. Reach out to me. I'll be happy to come by and tell you, just like I did with this couple, whether the renovations or the additions you're thinking about doing are going to be worth your while and worth your money. Thanks so much for watching. If you missed last week's episode, I've got it right here for you to watch. And here's another episode that YouTube thinks you should watch. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week for more Monday Mornings with Mark. You have a great week.